So we're still on the beautiful island of Zakynthos, an Ionian island, Greek island, and today we're taking the fun train to Zakynthos town, and purportedly the location, one of the many muted locations for the lost city of Atlantis. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that. Stick with us. The main primary source for Atlantis having ever existed were from Plato's dialogues. All other mentions of the island are based on them. The dialogues claim to quote Solon, who visited Egypt between 590 and 580 BC. They state that he translated Egyptian records of Atlantis. Written in 360 BC, Plato introduced Atlantis to the world. Some ancient writers viewed Atlantis as fictional or metaphorical myth. Others believed it to be real. Aristotle believed that Plato, his teacher, had invented the island to teach philosophy. The philosopher Crantor, a student of Plato, is cited often as an example of a writer who thought the story to be historical fact. His work, a commentary on Timaeus, is lost, but it was reported upon by Proclus in the 5th century AD. There have been dozens of locations cited as the possible location for the lost continent of Atlantis, including Santorini, Crete, Cyprus, and even Ireland. However, in the last 10 years, ancient ruins discovered off the coast of Zakynthos, huge public buildings, cobblestone paving, bases for pillars, and other building materials has raised the question as to whether the clear blue waters of Zakynthos house the lost city of Atlantis. So here we are in beautiful Zakynthos town, and there are lots of interesting points of note. Some amazing Venetian architecture here. The Venetians were a heavy influence on the design of this town. Behind me is, we believe, a statue of Athena, and the dedication translates as "for the bones of the Greeks." Athena was the goddess of wisdom, especially strategic warfare, the arts, and especially crafts, in particular weaving, daughter of Zeus and Metis. The worst earthquake in modern Greek history, known as the Great Ionian Earthquake of 1953, entailed hundreds of tremors, shocks, and aftershocks that struck the region between the islands of Kefalonia and Zakynthos. The most destructive of the quakes measured 7.2 on the Richter scale and actually raised the whole island of Kefalonia 60 centimeters, almost 2 feet. Also known as the Great Kefalonia Earthquake, damage was very heavy in Zakynthos' eponymous capital city. Only 2 buildings survived here. The rest of the island's capital had to be rebuilt, and many heritage items and buildings were lost. Moving slightly further up the coast to Alakanas, a diver called Pavlos Voutos was diving in the clear blue waters 25 years ago when he noticed small broken pieces of ceramics and asked himself where they were from. He thought maybe there was something buried in the sand, perhaps something ancient, but for many years he didn't find any other clues to prove this. However, many dives later, he noticed clear structures despite some bad visibility, including the round bases of columns, millstones, huge square-shaped stones, shaped eaves, and what looked like paths and rows over 200 meters long and completely parallel. There were also amphora. The diver contacted the authorities and eventually met with the mayor of Zakynthos. Much study later, some geologists concluded that the structures were simply geographical phenomenon, but they were not divers and did not see the site as it was seen underwater, so they could not see the context or positioning of the stones and rows. The whole area is full of ancient finds, tombs, myths, and places named after Odysseus of Ithaca, and some people may be afraid for their land, houses, and businesses. If these mysterious stones are ancient, they deserve a more thorough investigation and to be treated as the valuable items that they are, be they from the ancient lost civilization of Atlantis or not. The history spanning across centuries and rich culture, Greece has secrets and historical sites, often buried not under the ground but submerged in the sea, such as the ancient Greek city in Laconia, which was recently uncovered. There is also a separate location for a possible submerged Atlantis, the ancient sunken city of Epidaurus, which is located just a few kilometers away from Athens. The sunken city is just 2 meters below sea level, and there you will see walls, foundations of buildings, amphora of huge dimensions, and paved sections sunken 1.5 to 2 meters below sea level, a few meters from the shore. It seems to me that studying Plato's dialogues offers us little clues. The geographical location of Atlantis could be anywhere in the Atlantic Ocean, the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, the Azores, the Canary Islands, the Bahamas. Of course, like so many other people, I would love to know the true location of the lost continent, but I fully expect that explorers will continue to search for it. But for now, from the lovely island of Zakynthos, we hope you've enjoyed the video. Take it easy and see you in the next one.